What up, Dave? We're in the green room right now. We're getting drunk. Feels good to be here. Another day. Another nightly recap. Another GNN production. Hope you guys went and got your wine. Hope you went and got your date for the night. Hope you got your libations, your snacks, unless you're fat. Need you to have your kale chips if you're fat. We got a great show lined up for you tonight. A phenomenal show lined up for you tonight. I can't wait for you guys to all witness this extravaganza that begins right after these messages.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, boy. We are back. Good evening. Welcome to the nightly recap powered by GNN Gokhshtein News Network. This is your trusted source for politics, crypto, and everything in between that makes you question reality. I am your host, the GOAT of media, Hotep Jesus. We are back with another epic episode. But before we get into what we got to get into tonight, I'd like everybody to put their hands together and give a warm welcome for my surprise secret guest joining me on the exclusive stream tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only, Leslie Mota. Leslie.
Yes. Oh, Hotep.
Hola, mamá.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien. I'm doing much better.
Oh, that's great to hear. I missed you.
Did you? I missed you too, like the deserts missed the rain.
Oh, wow. Like the deserts missed the rain. You're so poetic. This is amazing. It's good to have you here. You look great. You look like you're glowing. Your hair is luxuriously flickering and reflecting the light. I love to see it.
Oh my goodness. It's been a minute, Hotep. I haven't seen your face. I like your hoodie. I could
You
take your
like it?
hoodie off. Yeah,
You want to take it off,
yeah.
or you want me to take it off?
You can take it off.
I want you to take it off.
I'll take it off.
It's starting to get hot in here, chat. It's starting to get hot in here.
Oh
Oh
my
man.
goodness. You came nice and warm and toasty. Didn't you know it's gonna get hot
I,
tonight?
I know. I should have known. I should have known better. I've been waiting for this all week. This
Have
final
you?
moment. Yeah, I've anticipated this. I haven't heard your voice in my ears since the last time.
So what you're telling me is that nobody else has mentally stimulated your mind the way I can stimulate your mind.
Nobody can stimulate my ears the way you do.
Well, I will continue to stimulate your ears all night long tonight.
She's pregnant. What?
Wait, what? Who's what the
Congrats, Hotep. Oh, Lord Jesus. What up, chat? One in the chat if you in the chat. One in the chat if you in the chat. You can hear me well. We about to get the show started. We got a market meltdown. Bitcoin has fallen below $114,000, triggering millions of crypto liquidations while trillions have been wiped from the United States stock market. And Leslie, I got to tell you, I couldn't hear better news.
So you wanted Bitcoin to drop?
Well, yeah. You don't?
No, of course I do.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. Well, there was a big meltdown today. This all stemmed from the jobs report, sort of stoked Wall Street. I think they were projected to do 100,000 jobs in the last quarter. They hit like 77,000 and some change. I think it was like 77,338 or something to that effect. So Wall Street got a little spooked, and yeah, so the entire market was down today. I was able to get into a Coinbase. I threw some money down on Coinbase stock today. They were down 16% last time I checked. I was like, oh wow, this is a great entry point. So I got a little bit of the Coinbase stock added to my portfolio. I added some other things to my port. Sunday I'm going to do some shopping, some crypto shopping. How do you feel about these markets? Are you going shopping, or what are you looking for?
I love to go shopping when the markets are red. It's like Black Friday, good entry points. You've been waiting to get into something and it's red. Clean it up. Get in it. Get in there.
Get in there. Be careful how you talk to me. It's going to get spicy tonight.
Very spicy. What are you drinking tonight? Water?
I am drinking water. Is
Good.
that
You
is
need
that
the
okay?
hydration. You are going to need the hydration tonight, Hotep.
Oh, it's getting high here, so I got to make sure we keep myself nice and hydrated. Um, Disputed jobs report. The U.S. economy added 73,000 jobs in July, falling short of expectations. Trump claims the numbers were triggered by a Biden appointee to make him look bad. I gotta tell you, Trump is a master of covering up his shit. He will find some way to not take responsibility. And I got to tell you, I'm here for it. Why should you take responsibility? Like, you wasn't doing nothing. You just pulled up, you waved a MAGA flag, you got a bullet whizzed by your head, you campaign, and you're just the president of the United States. You don't really do anything. So why should people be blaming you? So this is a good idea. And make sure you blame all the mistakes on everybody else, and anything good you take credit for. I think it's a great strategy.
Typical male, right?
Um, hold on a
um,
second. Hold on. This is absolutely insane. I just got a text message, sir. Somebody's like, stop playing, pick up the damn phone, sir. I'm live right now. Like, what is wrong with people? Like, people think they are just obligated to just have your time. And it's like, sir, I'm doing a job right now, and you're telling me pick up the phone. And this is what happens when you have boomers who are on Facebook and they're not on X, so they don't know what you're up to. Why would anybody have a Facebook account? Like the only thing a Facebook account is good for is like logging into something.
It's
Do you
for
have
all
a
the
Facebook
boomers.
account?
Yeah, but I don't use it. I had it a long time ago when Facebook first came out, and
Exactly.
I don't even really look at it, use it, anything. Every
Exactly.
now, but no, not
Yeah.
really.
Like what? Like and you know what I hate? You know what one of my biggest pet peeves is? Um, people who send you like reels, like they text you videos, like,
Reels
oh, go
from
watch this.
Facebook.
This is funny. Huh?
Reels from Facebook.
From anywhere. I don't care if it's from X. You like, please don't send me your little funny memes. Like, I hate when people send me memes and funny
Why?
videos and reels. Why?
You don't laugh at them when you see them every now and then. You know, some of them are funny.
I don't watch them
Funny.
when people send it to me. I don't watch them. You
What
know
if
what it
what if,
is.
what if somebody sends you a TikTok?
I won't watch it, especially if it's TikTok. I won't watch it. I don't open up the TikTok app. That place is toxic. That place is. Have you ever been on TikTok? That place is treacherous. It's weird. It's like
It's
Black Mirror
interesting.
over there.
It's very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of motivational. It depends what side on TikTok you are. It's like if you're clicking on certain videos, watching certain videos, then that's what the algorithm is going to pick up. But it depends what
I
you
saw
watch.
I saw people on there with 1,000 viewers doing scratch offs. I'm like, what? Like, there's people watching you do scratch offs. It's so many weird hustles on there. I can't do it. So I don't do. You know what it is? I think I'm spoiled because I have such a great community. We have the Hotepistan community, and I get so many videos from the producers of our shows that I see everything. That by the time you send me a reel, I'm like, dog, I saw this 3 weeks ago. You're on Facebook. I saw this 6 months ago. And it's like you're just so behind and you're sharing this with me. I think that text messages should be reserved for actual conversation. If you want to send me a reel, send it to me on social media. Don't waste my text messages. Okay. My phone is, I pay for minutes. It's free after 9 p.m. I got to pay
What
for text
what
messages.
kind of plan are you on? You don't have free,
It's free after 9. Everything is free after 9.
including yourself.
It's the type of plan I got. I don't know. I got a T-Mobile Sprint on an Obama phone.
Everything is free after 9, including Hotep G says.
I ain't never free, baby. You better slow down with that.
You said everything is free after 9, Hotep.
Only for you.
Okay.
Only for you. Only for you. Crypto tour. The SEC is planning to hold the crypto roundtables nationwide. That sounds like a waste of time. Like, really, like, what does the SEC know about crypto other than how to get in the way?
Nothing. They know absolutely nothing.
I'm sick of, what'd you call them?
Sec.
Sec needs to cut it out. HJ, you need to switch to Patriot Mobile or Pure Talk or something. Facts.
Sec. And you stopped me from saying that word because it was
It,
making you hot and bothered. Like certain words that I say make you hot and bothered.
yeah, it sounded weird. I thought you were saying sex, and I was just like, wait,
Yeah.
what are you saying? This is not professional. We have to make this a professional show, So I was a bit concerned about that. But a crypto tour. So let's try to speculate here. The SEC is planning to hold a crypto roundtable nationwide. You know what this is? Yeah, I know what this is. It's just like every other crypto event. It's just a reason to pull up and have a party. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. We've been to crypto conferences together before.
Yes, we have, Hotep, and you've written in the back of my car before.
That is true. That is true. I always forget about that. And it's I always have fun. I end up hanging out with Six and Honest. And
Yeah.
usually when I go to the events, if they're not there, I'm not going. Because they know those guys know how to party. And I have trouble partying with white people.
And then we went to the after party that they were there. Wendy O was there, Stacky was there, and we have a lot of great pictures together. I
Yeah.
was looking for a picture of Wendy and myself the other day
Yeah.
for her birthday, and I came across a few pictures that we had together. I was like, I thought we just had that one, but no, we have a few.
Who, me and you?
Yeah.
Send them to me.
I just got to block out some faces that don't want to be posted. So, but I'll send them to you.
All right, send them over. Let's share them. Let's share the crypto experience. But like people don't really go to crypto to learn. Like nobody goes to crypto to learn anything. You go there to shill your product, right? You go on stage to act like you're fake important, and then the audience there because they want to be important. You know, um,
I think the first time goers, they do go to try to learn a little bit or to see what is out there, and then after that it becomes repetitive. It's the same thing over and over, that then by the second third time you go, it's like whatever.
yeah, yeah. I feel like the networking is the biggest aspect of it all. Like meeting people that you've seen on the internet, et cetera, et cetera. So my
Yes.
my point is, I can't imagine the SEC doing any real work with their crypto tour. It might be
So do
some.
you think, would you attend if they did one and it was close by and you were offered to go? Would you attend one of their crypto tours or events, whatever they're going to do or host?
When you say offered, are you saying they would pay me to be there?
Offer you like a ticket to get in, you know?
No, probably not. That's going to be a no for me. No, a ticket? No, I'm going to stay home and yeah, I'm going to
You want to
water
be
my
paid.
plants.
So if they want you there, they have to pay you to
Yeah,
come
if you
there.
want if you want me there, cut the check. I bring value to everything. Like I walk in shit value. So just having me in a building is going to leave tremors throughout the building. People are like, yo, did you know Hotep Jesus was at this event? So if you want me at your event, you want more prestige at your event, you want those viral clips, book me. I'll come through and I'll pull up and I'll make a classic moment, because that's what I do. I make classic moments. I just eat shit classics. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
that's if they want that, they've got to pay for that, because it doesn't come free. I can't just do this stuff for free.
Nope, I don't think so either. Pay
Yeah.
Hotep or you do not get him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
That
can
that's
pimp you out
that's
if you want me to.
you said what? Wait, what?
I can pimp you out if you want me to.
Wait, whoa. I don't like the way you
To,
you
I mean,
worded
to
that.
go to conferences and things like that, big
Oh,
gigs.
oh, yeah. I didn't like the word, pimp. No, I don't get pimped. Nobody's going to pimp me. But if you would like to offer my services to companies, I would absolutely appreciate that. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
pimp your ass out.
See, you'll get your ass whooped now.
Ooh, that was my goal. That's what I'm aiming for.
Ladies and gentlemen, things are getting hot. We got to cool off.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin, it's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?
People come and they go.
You know,
That second commercial gives me nightmares.
Dave looks very Jewish in that second commercial.
He
Like
look yes, he does.
he looks so Jewish. I'm like, bro, you look orthodox as hell in that commercial. That shit is. That's how you know that company's going straight to the top.
Yep. And then July was Jewish July month, so
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding. It was Jewish.
Jewish July month. Shout out to
Yeah.
the Jews. I love Jews. I love Jewish women too. Jewish women are amazing. Um, Tensions rise. President Trump has ordered two nuclear submarines near Russia in response to threats from Dmitry Medvedev. Trump said the United States is fully prepared for nuclear war with Russia. Oh my fucking god.
Why is he going all freaking crazy and psychotic? Hey, do you think the earthquake that happened the other day over there by Russia? Do you think that they were testing something underwater? This is a conspiracy from Landy.
See, I was hoping we would get through this whole episode without you jumping out the window with another conspiracy theory. I'm trying to go corporate. I'm trying to clean up my image. I'm trying to be more palatable and make this a family show.
I
I'm
will
trying
help
to
you.
make this a sponsor friendly show. And then here you go, going full Alex Jones once again. So, okay. So you
I
think
mean,
this is
Alex Jones gets sponsors too,
Alex
and
Jones? Alex
information
Jones
fed.
doesn't have any sponsors. Alex Jones is the sponsor.
Well, we are going to be the sponsor.
So you think this is a weather weapon? Is that what you're going to tell me, that this is unnatural? This earthquake that happened was unnatural?
No, absolutely. I mean, the conspiracy was started all by Landy, and then of course, we go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, absolutely. Because how come out of nowhere now Trump, wants to send these warships and all that stuff to Russia? I'm like, there is a plan. I mean, there is more to it than what we are seeing on the surface level.
I don't think there's anything here.
All right.
It looks like headlines to me. Okay. Now I
Okay,
hope I could be wrong.
so then where are we not looking if it's just headlines?
Where are we not looking?
Correct.
At yourself.
Nah.
Every distraction is
Or
designed to
is it a
take you away.
distraction? Or is it a distraction because FBI came out today saying that they're redacting Trump's name from the Epstein files?
Yeah, the Hillary Clinton Obama files. Yeah, blah 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 blah. All that good stuff. It's all of that is distractions. We had the shooter, in the Blackstone building this week. Now we got the weather weapons and the harp and CERN and earthquakes and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. But everybody's not focused on the important things, and that is love. And that's what they want us keep us. They want us in a fear vibration, and they want us
Love.
away from love. They don't want us to love, and that's what they're distracting us from. They want us. They don't want me to love you. They don't want you to love me. They don't want us to love everyone else. They don't want everyone else to love us. But we have to spread love. We can't just feed into these innocuous stories as if they're
What is
important to our
love?
lives. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't touch me. Right there. Um, what is love? I've tossed and turned with the definition of love, and I've actually come to the conclusion that there is no such thing as love. There is no such thing as love. Love is love is unexplainable. Love is like God. Like you can't explain God, right? So love is the same thing. You cannot explain love. You can only express it. You can only see it. You can feel it and you can know it, but you can never express it, right? So
And
that's why I
how can
say,
you feel it?
how can you feel it?
Yeah.
You just feel it, right? Like it's in your bones, like it's in your heart, it's in your skin, it's in your teeth. It's just
Oh, I
it's in,
thought you were talking about physical touch.
no, that's called intimacy and what's the other word? Uh, uh, passion, and yeah, that those are fake expressions of love. That's how people get caught up. They think because somebody came around and rubbed on your nuts that they love you. No, that's not love. Sometimes a good nut rub is love, and sometimes it's not. It depends on, was that nut rub, was it prompted? Did you ask for it? Was there something in return? Often love is expressed with nothing in return, So that's what I love doing. I love just laying in bed and getting my nuts rubbed. It's a little,
Oh boy.
yeah, it puts me right to sleep, just rub my nuts until I fall asleep, just I don't know what it is. Mostly because I'm probably rubbing my own nuts. So if somebody does it for me, it just feels amazing. It's like, wow, I don't have to do this extra task that's holding me up from going to sleep. That's love. Um, but love is when you don't want anything in return. You know, love is love is doing the right thing. That's what love is. Love is tapping into the Jesus Christ of yourself. That's
So
love.
then
Love
you're
is
saying
God.
that there's a lot of people that are roaming the earth without love or loving anything?
Yes,
One?
that's the problem. That's the problem. A lot of people ain't been loved. They don't know how to be loved. So that means they don't know how to give love. They don't know how to love themselves. You got to love yourself before you can love the world. And if you never been loved, you can never love yourself. So that's why there's a lot of hurt and pain in the earth. We got to release them at them. We got to release them vibes and just bring love. Sometimes you just got to grab a bitch on the ass and just tell her you love her. You know what I'm saying? A nice ass rub is love too. You ever get a nice ass rub, like a booty massage? Women love booty massages. That's love. A booty massage is sometimes love. Now, if you want something in return, if you want to get in between, that might not be love. That might be lust. But if you just rub the booty because you want her to just go to sleep, you ever get your nuts rubbed while you're rubbing on some booty? That's great too. That's love. Sometimes that's just love. You just fall asleep with your hands in each other's pants. That's love. But love is evasive. But at the ultimate expression of love is God. If you make a God move, that's love. It's biblical. Do you read your Bible?
I do.
When's the last time you read your Bible?
Yesterday.
What'd you read?
A chapter in Proverbs where there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge
Oh, you went to Proverbs? Proverbs is love. It's a lot
and
of love
wisdom
in Proverbs. Yeah.
and a lot of wisdom, a lot
And
of
a,
knowledge. It's good if you want to. I mean, it's a really good book, Proverbs.
yeah. Yeah. When's the last time you had Mexican food?
Yesterday.
Mexican food is love. Mexican food is made with love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mexican
Delicious.
food. Mexican food is the reason why white people conquered the earth. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Mexican food is why white people decided to conquer the earth.
Wait, how so?
It tastes so good. They were like, nigga, we got to have this shit everywhere. So they started the Silk Road and all sorts of shit, and just for the spices, the spices. The
You know,
spices.
they hate Mexicans, but they love the food.
Yeah, yeah. I hate Mexicans, so it is what it is. Par for the course.
Except me. You love Mexicans deep down inside. Just some of them, not all of them.
You're right. Just some of them. Uh crypto renaissance. Crypto renaissance. Treasury Secretary Bessent calls this the golden age of crypto as the US explores blockchain, decentralized computing, and digital payments. The golden age of crypto. You know what? I rock with it. I rock with it. I
Golden
wouldn't
age
call that.
crypto.
I wouldn't call this the golden age of crypto, but I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Are you with it? Do you feel like this is the golden age of crypto?
No, I think we still have ways to go. I
Oh
think right
wow.
now, yeah, a little bit longer. I mean, it seems like everything's moving so fast because in our space, everything is moving so fast. But the last week, I have been out in the world doing interviews, creating content for something that we are going to put out. And a lot of people don't know crypto, they still don't know anything about it. And, Bitcoin, it seems like everybody knows Bitcoin, right? And they've never heard of Bitcoin. They've never heard of crypto. I have been speaking to politicians down here, and they don't know what crypto is.
Really?
So actually, next week, August 6th, I am going to be going to a council meeting here in this small town by the border, and I am going to introduce crypto and how crypto can help with financial economic growth here at the border, and how
Mm.
it can help other businesses that give back to the community, that are self funded, and they rely on a lot of sponsorship money, and how they can utilize crypto to fundraise or get donations worldwide.
How do you sell crypto to someone? What's your pitch? Somebody says, "Yeah, I don't know crypto. What is this crypto stuff? Should I buy it? I don't know." Ah, rah, 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 rah. What's your sales pitch to those people?
I don't have one, and the reason being, it really depends on the person that I'm speaking to. And
Mm.
then depending on that person, like, then it just flows. It's not something that I have memorized or it's set. For example, I was speaking to the council, one of the city councilmen yesterday, and then, one way of me speaking about crypto was very different than the I was speaking to a woman, and she does a lot of humanitarian work, and she's the director. I can't really speak on what she's director of, because that's going to go into the video. It's like the video that we're posting outside, and what we were doing, the humanitarian work. We're in partner with the project, and I can't really speak on it or give it away. But in speaking with her and then seeing what she does, the facility, how she helps the community, I spoke to her about crypto in a different way than I did the councilman. It's like, this is how crypto can help your services. And I just can't say much without giving it away. But it was two separate conversations
Top secret government projects.
with the government of the little small town, with the
Wow.
politician.
So Miss Illuminati speculator, you are working on secret government projects after complaining about secret government projects. Isn't that some irony?
Let me
Wow.
tell you, oh my goodness. And the crazy thing, Hotep, speaking to a lot of these politicians, speaking to different people that really, really know the community, really know what happens down here in the border. I'm also doing another segment. It's going to be like a little mini series. And they are more than willing to come on camera to tell us what really happens at the border.
Cartel members?
No, not really cartel. It's more politicians and more people like
Uh,
Republicans. This is a very democratic town,
Coyotes?
and coyotes, no.
Oh,
But the stuff that they have told me, and I asked, "Are you willing to come on camera?" And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely."
oh.
And I did tell them, this is going to be published on social medias, and you have to be okay. So I'm going to have to be very set on giving a disclaimer. That way, if because they could some of them can possibly lose their job for the stuff that they were telling me off camera, that they're willing to come and tell me on camera of what
Oh, wow.
happened at the border. It's going to blow the gasket on certain things.
Oh, man. I hope your gasket doesn't get blown. Um,
I mean,
I
it's
might
been a while.
blow it. So, last question before we move on to the next topic. How do you teach crypto? If you ran into, let's say, a 14-year-old kid, and they were like, what is crypto? Why is crypto good? What is the point of crypto? How do you, Leslie Mota, how do you, as the maestro, teach?
And that is such a great question. I am going to park that question. I'm going to put it on the parking lot for right now. And then once we release the video, I am going to come back, because after I speak at the city hall on the 6th, we're also going to schedule an education course to teach crypto. So we're writing material on
Now
that to
you come
teach
on my show
basics.
tonight and you not you just everything's a secret. What the?
Where, yes, Daddy. Where do you think I've been? I've been missing in action because things are happening.
You
You know
got
what I'm saying?
compromised. You got compromised. You was down in Langley with Landy, and you've been compromised. This some bull.
Landy's actually going to be my campaign manager. I didn't tell you this, Hotep, so I'm telling everyone
What?
here. A year from now, I will also be running for city councilwoman in this town.
Oh Lord Jesus, what the fuck is going on? What do you mean you're running for office?
I'm running for office, Hotep.
For real?
Yeah.
Not for real, for real.
No, for real, for real.
Like people gonna vote for you?
Yes, yes.
You
So,
you trying to be the mayor or something?
no, I'm just gonna be for now. I don't want to be the mayor. The mayor's super cool with me. You know, all the politicians down here are very cool. I even got to meet
This is in
one of the
Mexico?
ladies. No, this is here in Arizona, border town. And then I did get to also meet one of the ladies from the embassy in Mexico for the U.S. So she's a director or something for the U.S. embassy.
What the
And
hell?
yeah,
Wow. So you're gonna be
it's
like a councilman for a border town.
councilwoman. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, feminism and all
Yep.
that good stuff.
And
Wow.
I'm the one that's going to help this town be more financially stable through crypto.
Through crypto. So what are you guys gonna start like a Bitcoin fund?
Um, we'll see after I speak to city council next
Oh yeah, this
Wednesday
is
and then
top.
see how
Yeah,
that
that's
goes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the top secret
So
mission.
I have to do a presentation. I have to talk about it. I mean, and then the other facility that I went and spoke at yesterday, I gave them ideas as well how crypto can benefit their organization and what they are doing, funding wise,
I got a
etc.
good
So,
idea. I got a great idea for your town. Considering it's a border town, right? What I could do
mhm.
is I could fly across the border, go to Colombia, right? I'm gonna go meet my connect. I'm gonna pick a few things up. If you could just get me in the country without a search, I'm gonna break y'all off. I could fund your whole campaign. Everybody gonna get paid.
Let me tell you, that happens. There's freaking black SUVs, depending on who they're carrying, that just run right through the border.
Can we get permission? I need like diplomat. I need you to get in the council and all of that, and just make sure when I land, the federales ain't there because I got a few things to distribute around the country. You know what I'm saying? So I just, hey, I landed the embassy. Yo, Leslie, come pick me up. I just want to make sure I'm good. It's gonna be,
Oh,
it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
and even if you can't get through the border, I mean, there's a lot of down by the border, people have ranches, that are in
okay.
Mexico and ranches in the US.
Uh-huh.
So, they're right next to each other. And
Yeah.
then the border is right in the middle. I mean, all you do is open the gate and people can cross.
No, I need a landing strip. I got a single Cessna plane. I just need a landing strip. If you can just get me a nice landing strip,
There's some little tiny landing strips here too.
yeah, just get me
Nobody
get me a
really knows about.
yeah, I'll take it from there. If you can get me permission at that landing strip, I'll take it from there and I'll break everybody off. Okay. We'll all be rich. Um, I saw it in this movie once called Blow. Fed departure. Federal Reserve Governor Adriana Kugler has resigned from the Board of Governors. Well, wow. Look at that. Look at that. A spot has opened up. A spot at the Federal Reserve has opened up. That is amazing. I've been triggering people a lot about the Federal Reserve recently. I realized that this is my new fun thing to do.
I'm glad that we're touching on that subject because I did read one of your comments where you put or stated something about if we abolish the Fed, America is going to go to shit. Are
Yeah.
you trolling with that or are you being for real?
A little bit of both. I'm trolling because I know it'll get a reaction because most people don't read and most people don't think, and because most people have been programmed to believe that saying end the Fed sounds intelligent. But saying end the Fed actually is one of the most unintelligent things you can say. It's more like a marketing slogan.
Hmm.
to make you seem cool and edgy, right? It's kind of like, hey, I know the Federal Reserve is bad. I
Yeah.
watched the movie Zeitgeist, right? It's kind of like some basic bitch political statement, you know? But like, after you're done being a basic bitch, you've kind of got to evolve and actually act like an adult for once and go,
Yeah.
ending the Fed is actually not that practical. So can we just, move on and actually have an adult conversation? But the kids, so when I say that, I'm trolling because I know most people don't read. And for me, it's a bit troublesome because I actually did a research paper on the Federal Reserve with over 200 citations, and I published it on Amazon.com after 2 years of research. So I did the research on the whole thing, and people want to argue with me, and I'm like, wait a second. First of all, you don't read, okay? That's first of all, you don't read. Second of all, I've written more words than you've read, so you're gonna have to just back up off of my bumper because you are out of your league. So I'm just gonna need you to slow down, back up, take a pause. And my issue is, it's not that I expect people to know these things, right? Because I do
Hmm.
not expect people to know how the Federal Reserve operates. It's actually pretty complicated. But if you don't know, you should know enough to shut the fuck up, right? Like if somebody's having a conversation that I know I don't know a lot about, I'm just gonna be all ears. I'm not gonna jump into your mentions and be like, well, actually. No, I'm not doing that, right? Even in an intellectual discourse, an intellectual discourse always begins with questions. Okay. It always begins with questions. So if somebody makes a statement, the first thing I do before I begin to argue, add yourself to the thing, Landy. Before you begin to argue, like this is what I do when somebody says something, right? And
Hmm.
I think that I don't agree with it. The first thing I do is I think of questions to clarify what that person is trying to say so I can first understand them because I may misunderstand them and we may actually agree. People who aren't intellectual, what they do is go, "Oh, I don't agree. You wrong because in the Fed is what's that's." I bought a shirt. It say "in the Fed" on it. So, and people don't actually want to be wrong, and that's what the issue is. Like nobody wants to be wrong, and the other problem is nobody wants to say I don't know. One of the greatest things an intellectual can say is I don't know, and I pride myself in saying I don't fucking know because I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know when I don't. But most people don't operate like that. They feel like they have to know everything or pretend like they know everything. And a lot of it is embarrassment. They want to save themselves embarrassment, right? So they feel like if they say they don't know, that people will think they're stupid. Well, I already think I'm stupid. So if you think I'm stupid and I think I'm stupid, we're already on the same fucking page. So I'll say I don't know as soon as, because I don't care what people think. And that comes back to something else I always say. Everybody cares what everybody else thinks way too much, which makes you look like a dumbass to fucking begin with. So this is my issue with what's going on in the world. Landy, what's up, bro?
What's up, Hotep? How you doing? Leslie, it's great to see you.
Landy, hello.
Man,
Hey, look, quick. I know you want to go back and forth with or kick Hotep's ass on this Fed discussion, but I do have a question for you both. I mean, I know that sometimes we say abolish the Fed just to be funny, but it's not that easy. But do you guys think that the Fed could spear global CBDC take over the way things are going, the way things are moving?
What?
The
Leslie,
CBDC.
Leslie,
Yes.
you have to stop saying that, yo. You really have to stop saying that because it makes you sound crazy, yo. The
But
Fed
you know,
already,
okay, Hotep, but you know it's
Leslie,
not. It makes me sound crazy, but it's not
Leslie,
crazy, Hotep. It's
Leslie,
reality.
Leslie. We've had a central bank digital currency for a few years now, okay? And it's all backed up by Federal Reserve notes. We already have a Federal Reserve controlled CBDC. We got to stop acting like this is some conspiracy theory that's coming. It's already here. This stable coin is literally backed one to
So
one
then
by the
why
Federal
are
Reserve
we
note.
trying to Landy, weren't we talking about this the other day that you wanted that law to go into place to friggin' abolish the CBDCs or against the CBDCs? So if they already here and they already happening, then make that make sense.
The feds are here and we're taking over. We are watching everything you do and everything you say. We're tapping your phones. We're inside your house. We're listening through your TV. We are everywhere. We own everything. We are omnipresent. You can never get rid of us. We will. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Did
and
you say
pretty soon I'm gonna be
CBDCs?
one of them.
CBD?
Yeah, but I
Oh,
was
I'm
talking.
sorry. Hold on. Let me back it. Let me roll this back. You're talking about the Federal Reserve Bank, the private institution that was created by the government, which, of course, us feds are very heavily involved in. We enjoy having a vector to deficit spend the entirety of the human race into poverty, so that we can continue to monitor you, control you, and give you breadcrumbs, and make you think that you're making progress when you're really not. You're just fighting an uphill battle that you will always lose. But no, I mean, look. All right, is the Fed really? I'll stop with the Aquabed.
You got me spitting food out my mouth and shit.
Look, it's the Federal Reserve banks, all 12 of them. Everybody's like the St. Louis Fed and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Like, no, there's 12 regional banks, right? And there's over 1,700 member banks, at a national and a state chartered level. This is a very complex system. And what does the Fed do? They're really here to prevent bank runs. And we've seen how
banking cartel? Who makes up the banking cartel? Because you're naming all these banks. It's like
well,
who's
they're
part of the
regional banks.
banking cartel system?
Well, it's a very, very big subject, and I don't know if we got enough time to go into all of the history of it, but very simply put is what the Fed cannot easily be ended, right? And this is where there's a few different things. Like when people say that they want to end the Fed, they think that the Fed is this like omnipotent force that is not intrinsically linked to the Treasury. I mean, the Fed literally runs the Treasury auctions for the United States Treasury, right? Like that they are facilitating. One of the main reasons that the Fed came about, and for all of the controversy that surrounds it, it was just a power struggle. There was going to be some centralization coming no matter what. And the point of the Fed was to have one place to essentially go to swap and stabilize markets when there was runs and lack of liquidity within markets that could really spin things out into horrible scenarios. And this started quite a long time ago at this. We had the first Bank of the United States was, shortly after the formation of the United States in the late 1700s, early 1800s. And we've had a second bank that was chartered. But the problem is we ran into problems with liquidity and redemptions and different types of money, right? And we're going to run into that again, by the way, with the Post-Genius Act. We're headed right towards that same scenario, which is where we go decentralized and then re-centralized again. And when you say like, hey, are these... does the Genius Act further the goal of a central bank digital currency? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. We already live in they can just hit a button on a computer screen and poof, there's money. It's digital. It's not real. It's not real. We're already here. There's guardrails everywhere, right? Go ahead and go against the government in some way. Go to a protest and then get investigated. And guess what's going to happen to your bank accounts? while they're investigating you. It's done. It's
Gonna
over.
be gone.
Yeah. So the CBDC is okay. Sure. Do they make things easier? Yeah, in some ways, and in other ways they don't. Right. The real establishment of the Federal Reserve and the goals of the formation was it was really to create a system where we had regional banks. We were a pretty mature country at this point. We had all our states, and it was about providing for stability, right? And it's really stability of liquidity, right? To prevent runs on banks.
I'm gonna say it, Landy.
Let's go.
You ready? Everybody
Yeah.
at home ready? The Fed was the best thing that happened to America.
Okay, help us understand why.
He just told you why.
Because they can print money out of thin air and
Yes.
put America more and more in debt.
They
Well,
aren't the reason.
Well,
aren't the reason.
It's a little more complicated than that. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a little more complicated than that. Here's the thing. Okay. What do they always say? It takes money to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I can make money because it takes money to make money, well, I can make money to make money. Oh. And that's the game we dealing with, baby. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I heard some kumquat earlier. He was talking about, you can have sound money without central banking and fiat is bad. And I'm like, time out, unnecessary roughness. First of all, do you know that Lincoln issued something called greenbacks? And those greenbacks were fiat notes backed by nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. Now, when
they're backed by the full faith and credit of the United States of America, though.
The full faith and credit of the United States government. Okay. Now, here's the other thing that people don't know. In the colonies, Pennsylvania had a fiat currency. Boston had a fiat currency. Like, different states and regions had their own currency. This is what people don't talk about before the dollar becomes a thing. So the Pennsylvania currency was doing all right, printed out of thin air. So the problem is people take a problem that is so complicated, dumb it down to it's printed out of thin air, it's unlimited. And I'm like, economics is more complicated than that, because what are you going to do when that population grows? What are you going to do when you have mass immigration? You still can't have a set fine amount of money for the same amount of people. You're going to have to, especially if you want to start investing in things, you're going to have to print some dollars. All right. Fiat, first of all, wasn't created by the Jews. China created fiat. China's the first people in history on record, allegedly, to start fiat currency. So if people is like, oh, fiat, you're printing, and it's like, shut the fuck up. You ain't read a single book since you left high school. Some of y'all ain't read a book since grade school. Some of y'all ain't read a book since college. If you ain't read a book since college, I want you to shut the fuck up and listen to GNN News Network and let us do the thinking until you decide to sit down and read a book. The Fed is the best thing that happened to America. Okay? I'm going to show you the proof. Before 1913, before the war, what happened? Before the war, you got 1912, the Titanic sinks. 1913, you got IRS and the Federal Reserve Act, right? 1914, the war starts. What happens directly after that? The war ends in 1918, roughly, and then you have the Roaring 20s. People forget about the Roaring 20s. People act like shit wasn't sweet after the creation of the Federal Reserve. Then after that, we hit a Great Depression. The Federal Reserve kind of mismanaged a couple of things, but that's another story for another day. Then we go into the Second War.
You're just going to skip over that little part.
Let's just skip right over that. We don't got to talk about that right now. Okay. Then we go to the Second War, right? After the Second War, we pop out the other side the number one world power, and we established dollar dominance. Without the Federal Reserve, there would be no dollar dominance. Without World War I and World War II especially, there would be no dollar dominance. The dollar is our weapon of mass destruction. It is our weapon of colonization. The Federal Reserve is a net positive for America. Your sovereignty will dump, but your bags will pump. Believe that.
So for America and the government and all those
Jesus.com.
politicians, elites, officials, whatnot, but for the American people, it's not.
Hold
But
on. Let me
wait.
clarify. Okay. You got two types of American people. All right. One American reads, the other one doesn't. If you don't read, you're fucked. Right? If you read, America will treat you well. Okay. Now, if you're reading Harry Potter, you might as well not be reading. Okay. Now, you also got another group of people which we're going to put in the reading pile, and those are people skill building. Okay. Because you can skill build and not read. And those people are great. Sometimes they're electricians, HVAC, but sometimes they got to read too. Or boxers, basketball players. But you got some people who skill build. Some people master the hula hoop. You have skill builders, readers, and then the rest of you motherfuckers. The rest of you motherfuckers deserve what the fuck you get. The rest of us know how America works. So we invest our money and we're able to live and survive and thrive. If you don't read, if you don't skill build, you get what you get and don't get upset.
Yeah.
So you guys don't think that the Fed creates artificial booms through low interest rates
No.
and crashes by hiking
So
them?
let's handle that. Let's handle that. Do you understand that bankers have been creating booms and busts without the Federal Reserve?
Yeah,
We
and the
have to
Fed
deal with
can
that.
bail them out every single time, right?
No,
They bail them
no,
out while the people
no,
get screwed.
No. You didn't hear what I just said. You just became a woman and ignored everything I said.
I am a woman. I've been a woman.
Can I-
So you have to try and turn your woman stuff off and turn your ears on.
Oh my God.
I just said,
Every single man I talk to keeps telling me the same thing. I'm like,
because
I'm
women don't listen. They talk with their emotions, so they want to be heard,
I have no
but they
emotions.
don't want to listen. I just told you there were booms and busts manipulated by bankers way before the Federal Reserve was established.
Yes. And so when you had all of these different banks that were essentially, we're going to see the same thing with the post Genius Act. We're going to see all these different institutions spinning up their own products and having their own competition for what they have in their for their backing for their version of the digital dollars. But one of the big things that you have to understand is this is a public partner. This is a public private partnership, and it is the Treasury and the politicians that push forward the spending that is directing the Fed. Right? We have oversight over the Fed. It
Yes,
was
it is.
our government that set up the Fed and
1913
centralized
Federal
their
Reserve Act
system.
in 1913. It's a quasi public private entity.
Yes. And here's the thing. Why did they want a private entity and not have it be a public entity? So you can have a scapegoat. Also, you can have a black box that can do whatever they want with all of the garbage that they do behind the scenes and not open books and stuff like that. So getting rid of the Fed would be very difficult because it would get rid of the primary vectors for United States global power around the world.
The primary driver for the private side is because you want somebody to have an incentive to do the job.
Yes.
If there's no room to make money, nobody's going to have any incentive to actually run it. And that's the problem with government. Government's so wasteful because there's no incentive. There's no like checks and balances. People aren't getting paid off of profits. People are getting paid regardless. And that's why government's so efficient, because there's no quotas to meet.
Yeah. And when it comes to when it comes to the debt that we have, this is driven not directly by the Fed. They're just enabling what the Treasury is doing at the direction of the administrations and congressional spending, right? So, the Treasury is responsible for issuing and managing that federal debt, not the Fed. The Fed is just going to do and facilitate whatever it is that's coming from that. Now, is there legitimate criticisms of how the Fed is set up and how all of this is run? Yeah, absolutely. But outright and the Fed would be kneecapping ourselves. And this, heading into a Federal Reserve digital currency. The CBDC, or central bank digital currency, is actually something that will eventually happen no matter what, but it's not going to be now. And it's going to be much later on down the road, because what they're doing right now is they're going to decentralize that system and one-to-one back it with treasuries, because it's a fractional reserve system. Tammy noted they don't have enough reserves to pay everyone in the entire bank if the entire banking system collapses, which is why they're collapsing that system into a one-to-one back digital system utilizing the treasuries. And this is still going to be at the behest of who? Politicians. At the end of the day, they get to blame the Fed, and they get to walk away
Isn't the
scot
Fed
free.
compromised of all these freaking banks? Because you guys are sitting here,
Yeah,
making it seem like
at the direction of who?
Here's my premise. Okay, let's say we end the Fed, poof, magically disappears. What are you gonna do now, Leslie?
no, I'm not saying like
No, I'm
make it
asking you. No, I'm asking you. If we were to do so, what would you do then?
repeat the question.
We end the Fed today, right? You're Councilwoman Leslie Mota. You have somehow miraculously ended the Fed. It's gone, poof. And America's looking at you on Fox News. And they're like, Leslie Mota, she's going to take us into the future. What are you going to do about the replacing of the Fed?
That's a tough one, because the whole system,
That's my point.
Yes, no, and I'm not negating your point. It's a tough one because the whole
I'm going to tell
system
you what's going to happen.
it doesn't matter with, like you said, one, if you can't beat them, join them. The whole freaking system is corrupt. There's no way around it, period.
Yes. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you is going to happen, right? What'll happen is it's going to fall in the lap of the government. And now you got Maxine Waters in charge of the United States dollar. Do you want Maxine Waters in charge? Have you ever heard her in a House Financial Services Committee meeting? It sounds like a drunk bum stumbling in off the street trying to talk to you about why you should buy XRP. It's a fucking mess, okay? We don't want the government doing half the shit they do. They can't even manage their own wallet, piggy bank, purse, et cetera, et cetera. Now we want them to manage the currency. How you going to manage the currency and you can't even manage? This is terrible. This is a terrible idea. But my point of the matter always falls back to,
but wait, isn't there a board of governors that are actually appointed by the president that oversee the Fed? So isn't it already ran by the government?
He appoints the head of the Fed. And for you're talking about the board of governors is the congressional bill. You'd have to abolish the Fed's board of governors. You'd have to essentially take the 12 regional banks and really start dismantling we'd probably still have certain portions. There is a way to do it, Leslie. And this is where, if you want to hear how it could actually be done, but there's risks, like massive risks. And one of the major risks is deflationary crashing and liquidity issues, and the failure to be able to export our dollar dominance around the world, meaning that we would be dismantling our own power around the world.
Right.
But realistically, what would have to happen to end the Fed? You would have to end up dismantling the Federal Board of Governors, the 12 regional federal banks, the FOMC, and you would have to realign monetary policy. You would have to do something like transfer oversight to FDIC and OCC. You'd probably have to make something else for oversight, right? In addition to that, you would also have to unwind the entire balance sheet, which is somewhere around $8 trillion, or last reads of it's like 7.2 to 7.5 trillion or something. So you'd have to unwind that. So they would need to be liquidated, and that would mean that you'd have to avoid crashing the market. You can't immediately liquidate it, so you'd have turmoil in the markets just at the prospect of doing this. Ugh. But then you'd have to do selling assets, and what assets do they hold? You would have to sell all of the mortgage-backed securities and like all of the other shit that's on the balance sheet out to these other banks.
Those mortgage-backed.
Landy, stop. Just stop, please. Can you stop? You hear what he just said? Do you see? So if where I stopped him at, basically, what will happen around you is full on economic collapse. It will be Mad Max out your side. I mean, Mexicans crashing and burning into your home, taking your tacos. Okay, that's what's happening. That's what he's basically saying right now. Okay, just complete and total chaos. There's no clean water. You better walk around with your gat on you like I am legend. It's complete and total fucking chaos in the streets. All right, everything's fucked up. You do not want to do that. Last point I'll make. What's the phrase? It goes, the enemy you know versus the enemy you don't know. Like that whole situation.
Mhm.
Listen, we know the Fed. We know what they up to. We know what they doing. The last thing we want to do is bring in a new enemy that we got to go and figure out. Because by the time you figure it out, he going to have you in a whole new trap. You got to remember, this banker problem predates the United States of America.
Yeah.
It predates the United States of America.
And they were
So-
not even Americans.
No,
Well,
of course. They
I'm an
couldn't be.
American. I don't know about you. I know
I mean,
you're
I'm
not
talking
American.
I'm talking about the past.
Free America. Yeah, they wouldn't be Americans. I agree. Look, what I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just let me get through this point real quick, because there would be a way to do it, but I'm going to tell you why it wouldn't work. And that is, you do a stock redemption compensation for all the member banks. That would be the first thing. You then shift all the regulatory oversight, and that would have to be FDIC, OCC, and others within the states. Now you'd have to have state level
Who's going
oversight.
to
So now
manage
you're,
the investments?
what's that?
Who's going to manage the investments?
Exactly. Well, it would be all the oversight boards, right? So now you're literally just taking the private side and moving it to build out another bloated government structure. And when who's going to handle the auctions? Who's going to do all of this stuff, right? This would be, could it be done? Yeah, they could try it. How could you smoothly transition it? You'd have to have a really well thought out plan. And then you have to have operational continuity between all of that, because you're shifting from, all of these reserve requirements would have to be shifted over to move to the Treasury managed accounts directly, which the Fed handles now. And then all of the private banks would have to interface with the Treasury. And so you're building a much more bloated regulatory structure at that point than we even have now. And you're also opening up more avenues for deception and other kinds of shit like that. So here's the other argument. The other argument is, well, we just need to back our currency. It needs to be fully backed. So we have to back it with gold. We got to back it. Well, what ends up happening is, if you have it fully backed, then you must still have a vector for rehypothecation, because you need that money supply to continue to grow, even if the base supply is backed, right? And here's what they're doing right now. When you move it on chain, we're going from fractional reserve to what? To one-to-one back through the Genius Act, right? That's one-to-one backing with treasuries and the issuance of dollars, of digital dollars. Well, that's what's mandated.
It's kind of backed. It's like, just go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't want to derail.
Well, here's the thing. If the entire fractional reserve system moves over on chain, they'll all be one-to-one backed with treasuries. And then you go, well, if they're one-to-one backed, we still have a problem.
Yeah.
Because we can't rehypothecate.
Yeah.
But on chain, we have ways to rehypothecate. It's called staking. Yeah, we can stake it and rehypothecate it. So they're just going to build it and rehypothecate it online. They're going to start with the allure of the one-to-one backing, and they'll even take assets and they'll back the treasuries with all the different assets, because then you can just rehypothecate it much easier when you're on chain than you can even with the existing system we have now. They're collapsing one system into another, and it's the same type of system. They'll decentralize. The winners are going to compete, or the banks are going to compete, and those top level winners will have to compete, and then one will take over, because there's going to be runs on liquidity for the smaller ones that can't keep up. And it's going to be on chain, one-to-one backed. So it's going to be much more attractive for the bigger players to just go and buy them up. Hey, we over collateralized on this side. We're going to use some of that over collateralization, and we're just going to go buy all the smaller players. And now we have one large, massive infrastructure, but it's not going to be called a central bank digital currency. Will it effectively be that? Yeah, but we already effectively have that.
Right. Exactly. It's a hell of a mess we're in, Leslie. And the problem is the uninformed are being the uninformed are being misinformed by the uninformed. That's where we're at right now.
Right.
And they're all over mainstream media. And they're there for a purpose.
I'm not even getting into mainstream media. I mean, we know mainstream media. I'm talking about these influencers selling T-shirts. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, that too, but where are they getting it from?
Twitter too.
When they reference it, they're referencing articles that are being propagated by the very institutions.
No, they're not, though. They're referencing memes. They're being educated by memes in some documentary called Zeitgeist. It would be great if they actually read some articles. You're giving them way too much credit, Landy.
I guess I am. They
articles,
are just kind of.
I read articles. These people don't read. They are meme educated. They don't even read the articles.
Well, you can thank the little federal puppets for that one, by the way.
You see how educated Landy is? They're reading articles. No, Landy, they're not reading articles, and that is the problem. Even if they were reading the shitty articles, they'd be able to form a good logical conclusion. They're not even doing that, bro. Articles.
That's true.
Matter of fact, they don't even read the articles. They read the headline.
They do just read the headline. Headline.
They read the headline, then post the headline, put a little siren emoji, and go breaking. Right? And then me, the reader, I go click on the article, I go read it, and I'm like, this headline's misleading, right? Like, that's not what I got out of this article. And it's just like, wow, this is where we're at. So it's pretty shitty out here, Landy. They're not reading the articles. If they do, they're reading the headlines, and they're meme educated.
They don't hit my social feeds, I guess.
You're lucky.
I guess I am lucky in that regard.
You're lucky.
I mean,
no, they hit Hotep social feeds because of everything that Hotep posts. That's why they.
Yeah, it is my fault. It is. I have to take responsibility for the filth that comes across my timeline.
I mean, look, there's the
antagonizes those people. That's why
I do antagonize them. They are my targets. Yeah,
it's a pros and cons conversation, and what people, I think, at the end of the day, even Bitcoiners, like, there's a lot of Bitcoiners that just want to they wanted Bitcoin to be money and for everyone to be nomads. It was never going to work. How are you going to?
I hate fucking Bitcoin people. Those people are the dumbest motherfuckers to hit this planet. I swear to God. You know what? I hate all of crypto.
Are you talking about Landy? Wait.
No, Landy knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's actually read something. I'm talking about people.
He's a Bitcoiner, right?
No, he's not. I'm talking about
yeah,
Bitcoiners that are still stuck on 2014 programming. Bitcoin is money and it's going to save us. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's fungible and it can be used as money, but it's an asset. It's an asset that was infiltration, not invasion, not war. It's infiltration.
I don't care how it got here. Okay.
I don't either.
I don't care how it got here. Number go up, number go down. I'm gonna do my thing. Bottom line is, I'm sick of motherfuckers. Huh?
I said it got here because the government placed it here.
However it got here, got beamed here from the moon. I don't know. Okay. All I'm saying is, I'm sick of people trying to tell me that Bitcoin is money. Yo, I saw the other day, Landy, the most craziest shit I've seen all year. PayPal says in the headline, they said, yo, we are now going to accept crypto payments for merchants. Yep. So people can pay merchants with crypto. So I'm like, oh shit, this is great for me. Then I go read the fine print. Landy, you know what the fine print said?
A little
They're
bit.
going to take my crypto that I got as a merchant and convert it into USD and then give me the USD.
Yep.
What in the bullshit?
Yeah. It's
Is that a
auto
crypto
conversion.
payment, Landy?
Well,
No.
it'll
For
be their
them, it is. So basically, what we're
PYUSD.
talking
Yeah.
about here is a mass wealth extraction. They're like, listen, we're going to take this good commodity money. We're going to hold on to the commodity money. We're going to give you this fiat money, this digital fiat money. You can have that. And we're going to give you a nice little 4% while we make 10,000% on the commodity money. It is nasty, bro.
Yeah. It's the cryptocurrencies. Here's the crazy thing that I think about the crypto space is, and I argued this all the way back on the Bitcoin talk forums, and I got, Bitcoin maxis, and I did not get along for various reasons. But part of what they're going to do is they're just going to convert it in their PYUSD, which is their own stable coin, right? And then they're going to auto convert you into US dollars at the other end for your books, so that it's it's all nice and you don't have to worry about anything. It's happening all in the back end, right? But the fact of the matter is, everybody's looking at the value of their crypto, and what are they measuring it in? Are they measuring it in gold? Are we out here going, well, my Bitcoin is this amount of gold so that I can trade it for this amount of gold so that I can go and make that fun? No. Everybody's equating it to their own fiat currencies. The only reason that the number is so high for Bitcoin is because fiat money is going into it. Otherwise, it's one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It's one XRP is one XRP. That's it. It's fungible on the network. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. And the only reason that we have any of these arguments online about which one is better and which one is going to have a higher market cap is because people are arguing about the wrong damn things. Meanwhile, what they're going to do is they're linking everything into these fiat currencies, utilizing these limited supply assets to build that value in the fiat currency vector. And then they're going to use it to back things so that they can issue more fiat off of the back of it. That is the whole point. If you can't do that, you can't compete on the global stage. You just can't. And we can still do this.
You cannot compete. You can, and that's the other thing. People want us to go back to gold-backed money. I'm like, no, we don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. It's a huge, terrible idea, mostly because nobody else is going to do it. So why would we do it? You do not want to be in a world trading fucking fiat that's backed by assets while everybody else is playing with monopoly money. You're going to get raped.
And everything is only good in the eye of the beholder for our period of time in history, right? Mm-hmm. We are determining what the value of things are, right? And we will always have some vector of trade, and we need a vector of trade. People are getting into Bitcoin, or people who get into gold. What happens? They want to hoard it, right? So you have to have a way to deposit and have IOUs off of the back of that, and then have rehypothecation of those IOUs. That's fiat. That's at the end of the day, that's fiat. You can't redeem your dollar for anything at this point, nor can any of the banks, because what is really backing it is just a rehypothecated fiat system. And when you get down to its core, it's the United States military and the taxpayer's head, right? And even if you start backing it with all of these assets, shiny rocks and digital dollar and digital money, whatever that digital money is, Bitcoin or other, we are determining the value for trade on that. And we are going to make the determination as societies of why that matters. Why do certain things matter? Well, why does Bitcoin matter? Because it is a vector for quantifying the value of energy production, right? Why does gold matter? Because at the end of the day, you can use it for other things, right? It's not just a shiny rock. You can actually build with it and create with it, right? Why does silver matter? Well, man, silver, Hotep, man, silver. People don't know about silver, bro. They don't know about...
I want, every time I see a red, white, talk about, oh, we got to return to the gold standard, I just want to slap him with a big ass silver dollar.
Right?
Like, I mean, shut the fuck up, you moron.
we're always going to get these types of rehypothecated systems. I don't care if it's seashells and what is it backed with, the threat of violence, and land and ownership and all that shit. Like at its very core, we're making the determination we'll always have these rehypothecated systems. We happen to have a Federal Reserve, and we have Federal Reserve banks in many countries. The Federal Reserve Bank of the United States is managed by our politicians and our government, right? At the end of the day, they're the ones that are responsible for the deficit. It's not the Fed.
You know what
Now,
else I hate, Landy?
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm like Landy's my therapist, and I just vent to him about
It's
all
all
of it.
right. It's all right.
I
I'm here.
think Landy is all of our therapists.
You
I'm
know,
leaning back.
you know what this motherfucker said? The Federal Reserve ain't federal. I'm like, oh my fucking God.
It's a private institution. Yeah, we know that. Thanks.
But it's literally federal, though.
But it is run by the federal government.
It's
It is
written in the
overseen by the
legislation,
federal government.
sir.
Yes. Yeah.
It is written in this. It is literally is federal.
Yeah.
Like I understand, like people, want to say it's run privately, but it's quasi public. It's actually both, right? So when people say it's not federal, here's the reason why I hate it. Because I know the documentary they got it from. It's this documentary about the Federal Reserve, and they got little cartoon people. Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I know. I don't remember the name of it, but I've seen various versions and clips of it floating around the internet for quite some time now.
Okay, so then is it safe to say, because you guys are saying one is public, it's private, whatever. So then is it safe to say that the Fed is hybrid?
It's an Ouroboros.
Listen, it's federal. Okay, you cannot walk around saying the Federal Reserve is not federal when it's written into legislation.
Well, we're not saying that it's not federal. I mean, the Board of Governors is a federal agency, right?
They said it's as federal as Federal Express. Amazon does better business than Federal Express.
Then they have the private corporations. I know that the private corporations are owned by commercial banks. So, I mean, public/private hybrid. I mean, isn't it a mixture of both?
It is a hybrid. But I mean, you literally have a presidential appointee as the Fed head, right? Because it's the Fed is quasi federal, but it's a private entity because you can't look. The reason why a lot of people don't really understand this because it spirals out into the entire banking system, which encompasses the entire stock market, because it really is fully controlled. It is fully controlled at the end of the day. Our entire system is fully controlled. It is a top-down centralized system under the thumb of the government by regulation, right? And through this regulation, we have the banking system that supports all of it at the end of the day and facilitates all of it for every private company. But it's fully controlled, right? Like we can't. It is just about what type of oversight and how much freedom can we get out of a system that we can control, because otherwise that system will spin itself out of control, and it's usually because of greed and panic and vectors of enemies who want to take over. At the end of the day, really what backs the United States is the land that we're all on, and the taxpayer dollars and the war machine we can spin up.
Yo ass.
Yeah.
Leslie's ass. That's what backs up this dollar, Leslie fine ass.
But it's such a. But when people say that they want to end the Fed, and even I understand some way of how it could be done in terms of process. No one really in our generation understands the repercussions of it. We can only model and try to predict. But when people say, oh, end the Fed, and we just don't need them, we don't need them. Like, well, we actually do, because there's repercussions to ending the Fed, and it's going to affect your life and everyone's life here in the United States. So what is your solution?
So tell them, shut the fuck up. That's the solution. That's the solution. Shut the fuck up until you go read a book. That's what I tell them. They're like the WNBA. You just throw a dildo.
I mean, Landy, hypothetically speaking, if you were to abolish the Fed, what would be your solution?
Well, my solution, there's only really
You
one
said it
solution.
earlier.
It's all you're literally just building out a much larger government oversight apparatus than we already have. And what you'd get along with doing that, you'd have fractionalization of oversight. It would be every state and it would be national, right? And we would still have to keep certain things like the we would have to keep we would have to keep heads of there'd be companies at this point, but they would be subject to the oversight, which would increase the control of the US government over what we already have. Right? You're just decentralizing and adding risk to the system across regions. That's what you're doing at the end of the day. You're decentralizing and adding risk across regions. And are there ways that you could do it? Yeah, you could do it, but then we're fractionalizing and having a competition within the United States that could potentially lead to civil war within the United
Yep.
States. And now that's an opportunity for other countries to take advantage of. And this was kind of, these things were being discussed before the formation of the Fed, by the way. And it was in response to some of the national banking acts, because there was little fires popping up in different regions and states that had their own banks, and those privatized banks that were popping up. And and how do you manage that when there's a private bank that some banker is running in a state, and then there's the state bank, and then there's the national bank, and the private banker is over here taking a bunch of people's golds and issuing their own, and it's not accepted over here. And who knows what they went out and they just sold the gold to another bank and said, fuck off. And so if you go try to redeem, now you got to go deal with them over here. And then how do you structure all of that? Right. So there's a lot of risk, which will require way more oversight on the national and state level. And is there problems with the Federal Reserve? Absolutely. It is a black box. Should it be cracked open and audited? Absolutely. But why won't any of them ever? Yes, the savings and loan banks. Yeah. Why won't they ever do it? Because the power corrupts. Power corrupts. These politicians that get into power, the same ones that, by the way, approve the board of governors for the Federal Reserve, by the way, that they go through the confirmation process in the US Senate. And then the head of the Fed goes through confirmation process as appointed by the president, right? These things, it is a easier thing to manage at that level than it is with 400 throughout an entire state across 50 states. And then you got 400 different banks popping up in each state, right? How do you manage that from an infrastructure point of view and an oversight point of view? You just end up creating government bloat at the end of the day, and you spend yourself into oblivion that way, open yourself up to your enemies to come in and infiltrate and fuck around. So I just buy Bitcoin, let them back treasuries with it, get stables, stake them, earn yield, and make your family's life.
Learn how to read. Reading
Yeah.
is fundamental. Okay, that's step one. Okay, I want everybody to do a self audit. When was the last time I picked up a book and read it for more than 2 minutes? I want you to just try and just read the book. Can you try 10 minutes? Let's start with 10 minutes of reading a night. Remember when you were a little kid and you couldn't read, so your teacher called your parents into school and said, hey, your little fuck can't read. You're gonna have to sit home at night and read with little fucked up Johnny. He's a little retarded. You had 2 teachers in your classroom. Now you're reading 10 minutes a night. You need to get back to that. 10 minutes of reading a night. Pick up a fucking book, okay? Start with mine, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money War, available now on Amazon. See what I did right there? That boy.
Like
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Go get my book.
Take some Apex before you sit down and read it. That way you have a book stand.
We got brain pills right here. This is gonna help you focus. Right here, Flow, menofwater.com. The Flow pills will help you focus. The Apex is for when you got pretty Latinas around. Okay, you got pretty Latinas around. It's gonna make your pheromones pop and a couple of other things pop. You know what I'm saying? But pop in a good way. You know what I'm saying? Pop, Leslie. Anyway, That's all the time we got for tonight. Landy, thank you for joining us. Leslie Mota, it's been absolutely wonderful being reunited with you. Thank you so much for joining. I missed your cheeks. I missed
And it
your
feels
cheeks.
so good.
Look
I
at
was
those
craving-
rosy
you
cheeks.
know what? I was craving some chocolate tonight. I'm like, I got to get me, a little bit of satisfaction tonight. Now I can sleep cozy.
Oh, you're going to sleep
I
good
like
tonight.
dark chocolate, especially the one that melts.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got your marching orders. Subscribe to the channel and go read a book. We're out of here. I'll see you next Friday.
We all know Pepe. But what about his alter ego? Born from pages 143 and 154 of Boys Club. Dripped in confidence. Powered by vibes. This is Peasy.
Hello, friends. You're probably wondering, what is David holding right now? I'm holding Apu Apustaja, the most used meme on the internet. But it's not just a meme coin. It's a community with real friends. Friends who have uncontrollable fun together. Friends who have unconditional love for each other. And friends who rally behind the frog 24/7. Because who would choose to win alone in life when you can win with all your friends?